What we just witnessed at Hollis Hall might redefine the entire Chicago season. A coach who won't settle for mediocrity has just shown that things in this organization have changed forever. But that's just the beginning. There are roster moves revealing Ryan Poe's master strategy in a situation with a former receiver that could shake up the entire market. Do you think this is a coincidence? I'm telling you this. What you're about to hear today confirms that Chicago has finally found an identity. But if that surprises you, wait until you hear what's really going on behind the scenes. Stay until the end, because the third news will blow your minds. Did you see what happened yesterday at Hollis Hall? I'm telling you this, after years of seeing this team accept mediocrity, we finally have a coach who won't tolerate mistakes. Ben Johnson just showed why the Bears paid him $13 million. Let's be clear, Chicago. On the first training camp day, Johnson literally shouted at Caleb Williams in the middle of a 7-on-7 drill. And guess what he did after? He pulled the entire first unit off the field. When was the last time you saw a Bears coach do that? Remember Matt Nagy? That guy allowed Mitch Trubisky to make the same mistakes week after week, and I never saw that. Intensity, Matt Eberflus? Please, that guy was softer than melted butter. John Fox? Forget it. But Johnson is different. I believe this is exactly what we needed. Look, Williams made 3 consecutive communication errors. On the first, 1. Johnson was all over him yelling during the drills. And why does this excite me so much? Because we finally have a coach treating Williams as he should be, the leader of this franchise. On the second error, there was a communication breakdown with the receivers for alignment. Johnson showed patience, but was clearly on edge. I saw the players' faces, and you could feel the tension. This isn't the relaxed environment of previous years. Here, there are real expectations. And the third, I can't believe what happened. Another miscommunication with the receivers, and Johnson said, "That's it." Do you understand the statement made here? It doesn't matter if you're the number 1 pick. It doesn't matter if you're the future of the franchise. If you don't execute, you sit. That's navy and orange, baby. Johnson took Williams and the entire first unit out, put Case Keenum and the second team in. And you know what the message was? In this organization, respect is earned on the field, not in boardrooms. But let's dig deeper into what really happened. Tremaine Edmonds intercepted Williams' first pass. Coincidence? No. The defenders are more motivated than ever because they know their coach won't tolerate offensive mistakes. The team's chemistry is changing before our eyes. Cole Kmet was completely open, and Williams decided to run out of bounds instead of making the easy pass. Do you understand what this means? Williams is still playing scared, still overthinking. And Johnson spotted immediately. Reports say it was Williams' worst day in a long time. Mark Carman said it was just bad. But you know what? I think this is perfect for his development. Why? Because he finally has a coach demanding greatness from day one. Compare this to Aaron Rodgers under Mike McCarthy or Tom Brady under Bill Belichick. Do you think those coaches tolerate mediocrity? Never. And now Williams is learning what it means to be an NFL quarterback under a coach who truly understands the position. And you know what this tells me about Johnson's mindset. This man came from Detroit, where he developed an offense that took the Lions to places they'd never been. He didn't come here to rebuild. He came to win. Now Williams' issues aren't new. During OTAs, there were already struggles with calling plays in the huddle, cadence, throwing down the middle or beyond 10 yards. And what does Johnson do? Instead of protecting him like previous coaches, he puts him under pressure. But here's what really excites me. Johnson is treating Williams like the franchise quarterback he should be. Not as a project. Not as a rookie needing patience. As the leader of this offense who must execute perfectly. Do you think this will break Williams? I believe the opposite. I think this will forge the character needed for him to be great in this league. The best quarterbacks in history had tough coaches pushing them beyond their limits. And the fact that Johnson did this on the first day of training camp tells me there's no time for games. The window is open now, with this defense, with this offensive talent, with this roster meticulously built by Ryan Poles. If that surprised you, wait to hear this. While we have training camp drama in Chicago, there's a former Bears receiver causing waves across the NFL. Keenan Allen is still a free agent, and let me tell you this, multiple teams are showing interest in him. But you know what's the craziest part? Allen has been waiting until the training camp started to evaluate team situations. Does this strategy sound familiar? It's exactly what a savvy veteran who knows this league perfectly would do. Allen knows injuries will open opportunities, rookies will struggle, plans will change. He's a genius. Remember what Allen said earlier this year, that he'd only play one more season with Chicago or returning to Los Angeles. Otherwise, he'd retire. But here we are, July 24th, and Allen is still available. What changed? I think Allen saw how Chicago looked last season and thought, if I'm going to risk my body for one more season, it better be with a team that can really compete. And can you blame him? Let's analyze Allen's numbers with Chicago. 744 yards and 7 touchdowns in 15 games. Not spectacular, but not terrible considering the offensive chaos we had. We had 2 offensive coordinators. Thomas Brown was promoted TWICE during the season. But do you know what the real problem was? Allen is a precision receiver, a route running master, and we had him in a system that changed every 3 weeks. It was like asking a surgeon to operate with the lights off. And now what do we have? The Bears drafted Luther Burden to pair with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. They found a cheaper option after trading for Allen last March. I ask you, was it the right decision? Look, I get Poles' logic. Allen was 32, coming off an injury, and we wanted to build for the future. But when you have a rookie quarterback like Williams, don't you think keeping a veteran like Allen would have been better? The Rams signed Davante Adams weeks after Allen's comments. Now they have Adams, Cooper Kupp when healthy, and Tutu Atwell as the number 3 option. That's an elite receiving core. And what did Chicago do? Bet on a rookie instead of retaining proven experience. But here's the real intriguing part. Jim, Harbaugh didn't completely close the door on Allen returning to Los Angeles. Why? Because Mike Williams recently retired, opening a spot for a complimentary target to Ladd McConkey. Can you imagine Allen returning to Los Angeles? The man knows the system, knows the organization, and Justin Herbert needs all possible weapons to compete with Kansas City in that division. It would be perfect. The Broncos emerged as a potentially interested party in April, but chose Pat Bryant in the 3rd round. But you know what? Allen could still provide the team with a polished partner. For Courtland Sutton, Sean Payton knows how to use smart veterans, and Allen would fit perfectly into that offense. But does this mean Chicago let go of the wrong talent? Look, I understand Luther Burden has potential, but Allen is guaranteed production. 6 1,000-yard seasons, 6 Pro Bowls. The man is a first-ballot Hall of Famer. And here's what really bothers me. Allen wouldn't be asking anywhere near the $20 million he was earning per year. Could we have probably signed him for $8 to $10 million? At that price, it would have been the best value in the entire NFL. But do you know what my theory on what really happened is? I think Ryan Poles wanted his group of receivers. He wanted to be able to say he built the receiving core that led Williams to success. Ego over results. Meanwhile, Allen is there waiting for some team to get a key receiver injured or to realize their rookies aren't ready. It's like having an elite insurance policy available. But I tell you this, if Allen signs with Denver or Los Angeles and has a great season, are you going to blame Ryan Poles? If Luther Burden can't produce immediately and Williams struggles without dependable veterans, will you say Poles mess up? Because look at what we have now. DJ Moore, whom we know can disappear in big games. Rome Odunze, rookie. Luther Burden, rookie. Tyler Scott, who And Keenan Allen is available playing golf somewhere. And when you thought we were done, there are roster moves revealing exactly Ryan Poles' philosophy and the direct connection to Dennis Allen's defensive vision. The signing of Trey Flowers is directly connected to releasing Tarvarius Moore. And let me tell you this, every move Poles makes has 3 layers of strategic thinking. Are you wondering why? Poles released Moore right after the first training camp day. I'm telling you this, it was no coincidence. The organization needed to make space, and Moore was the sacrificed one. But why Moore specifically? Let's analyze the timeline. Tuesday, the Bears signed Trey Flowers. Wednesday, first day of training. Camp. Wednesday night, boom. Moore is released. Do you think Poles hadn't planned this from the moment he signed Flowers? Look at Moore's numbers. Appeared in 11 games for Chicago in 2024, mainly on special teams. He made 7 tackles all season. 7. Do you know how many tackles DJ Moore made? More than that. Clearly, Moore wasn't impacting as expected. But why keep Moore so long if he wasn't producing? Simple. The Bears were waiting to see if they could find a better option fitting specifically into Dennis Allen's defensive system. And that option turned out to be Trey Flowers. With Jalen Johnson's leg injury, the Bears needed cornerback depth. More than safety. But do you know what's great about Flowers? The man can play both positions. It's pure versatility. And why Trey Flowers specifically? Here comes Poles' smart part. Flowers has experience in the defensive system. Worked with Ryan Nielsen in Atlanta and Jacksonville. And Nielsen was Dennis Allen's defensive line coordinator for years in New Orleans. Do you understand the connection here? Nielsen was with Allen in New Orleans from 2017 to 2020 as a defensive line coach. Then he was assistant head coach and co-defensive coordinator when Allen was head coach in New Orleans starting in 2022. Nielsen went to Atlanta as a defensive coordinator in 2023 with Flowers on the roster. And then both went to Jacksonville when Nielsen was the Jaguars' defensive coordinator in 2024. IT's a perfect connection. Do you understand what this means? The Bears aren't signing random players. They're building a roster of players who already know the system. Tano Capassignon also has experience with Allen in New Orleans. This is master planning. The mental adjustment period to understand what we're trying to do defensively becomes much quicker, according to Allen's own words. Is this strategic planning or what? That's why Poles makes millions, and we're here making YouTube. But let's dig deeper into Moore's profile. He was 28 and recorded 115 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 6 passes defended, and 2 forced fumbles in his career. He had a notable moment in Super Bowl 54 when he intercepted Patrick Mahomes. The man intercepted the best quarterback in the league in the Super Bowl. But do you know what Moore's problem was in Chicago? He never found his place. Elijah Hicks and Jonathan Owens were already established as backups behind Jaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard. Moore was the 5th safety. And what do you need a 5th safety for who can only play special teams? Especially when you can have Flowers, who can play cornerback and safety. It's like trading a knife for a Swiss Army knife. More versatility, more options. With Moore's release, the Bears have 8 cornerbacks on the 91-player roster. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Zah, Frazier, Josh Blackwell, Nashin Wright, Nick McLeod, Shaun Wade, and Flowers. Is this enough depth, or do we need more moves? I think with Johnson's injury, having 8 cornerbacks is smart. But do you know what my concern is? What if Brisker isn't 100% after last season's concussion? Do we have enough depth at safety? There are other safeties available as free agents. Marcus Williams from Baltimore, Justin Simmons from Atlanta, Jordan Whitehead from Tampa Bay. But you know what? None of those players know Allen's system like Flowers know Nielsen's system. And here's my theory on what's really happening. Poles is building a defense where every player can do multiple jobs. Johnson gets injured, Flowers can play cornerback. Brisker not 100%. Flowers can play safety. It's brilliant. I believe Poles is playing chess while other teams are playing checkers. Every move has a specific purpose. Moore's release wasn't just about salary cap space. It was about optimizing the roster for Allen's defensive philosophy. And you know what's the smartest part? Poles is sending a clear message to the entire organization. If you don't produce, no matter your pedigree, no matter your experience, you are replaceable. Moore had a full year to prove his worth, and he didn't. So, what do you think, Bears fans? Did Ben Johnson do the right thing by yelling at Caleb Williams and pulling him off the field? I believe that intensity is exactly what this team needed after years of mediocrity. Or do you think it was too harsh? For the first day, and what about the Keenan Allen situation? Did Chicago make a mistake letting him go? Or were they right to bet on youth with Luther Burden? If Allen signs with another team and has a big season, will you blame Ryan Poles? And this move to release Moore for Flowers, does it seem smart to you? Or do you think we need more depth at safety after what happened to Yaquan Brisker last season? I guarantee you we'll have more explosive news about these Bears tomorrow. The season's just beginning, and historic things are already happening. You can't miss what's coming for Chicago. Hit like if you think Ben Johnson is doing exactly what this team needs. Subscribe if you think we finally have the winning culture Chicago deserves. And let me know in the comments, which of these 3 news stories impacted you the most? Because here at Bear Truth, we are more than a channel. We are a family of fans who live and breathe navy blue and orange. This city deserves a champion team, and we finally have the pieces to build it. See you in the next video. Bear fans, they Bears.